Okay, well, let's bring up our final guest of the night. I'm tickled that I'm tickled anybody's here. Anybody at all. So it's wonderful that he's a gifted stand-up comedian. He's got a number of great videos out there. And let's just bring him up. Robert Dean.
Yay! I'm anybody. Good to be here.
Good to be here.
Thanks, Dale. Good to see you.
Good to see you. Robert, do you go by Bob?
I don't.
Good, me neither. Now, you've had a number of great projects out there as I was combing through today, and just a lifetime of great work, so congratulations.
Already?
All right. But you have a kind of a particular way of having some of your comedy, and I wanted to talk about that with you just right off the bat, because it's a kind of a meta thing, or maybe, is it meta? Would you describe some of the comedy that you do as meta? Maybe embedded, maybe sideways? What's the right way of framing it?
None of those things.
Okay.
To be honest, I don't know. I don't aim to do sideways comedy or meta comedy. I just do what I find fun and funny.
Yeah, but for instance, you have a podcast called What About Bob?
Right.
Now, and that's a thing where you
fans? Are there fans of What About Bob in the audience?
A lot of people here probably came in. And that's a program where you
It's an album. It's What About Bob, the podcast, the album.
All right. And so it's a kind of send-up of podcasting, though, isn't it?
Yes.
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 Because you have celebrity sound clips.
Celebrity sound clips saying movies of actors from What About Bob. So I ask my good friend, for instance, I'm trying to think of the first one, Paul F. Tompkins, I ask him what's his favorite Richard Dreyfuss movie. Then I have a sound clip of him saying Mr. Holland's Opus.
Right.
Then I ask, what about Bob? And that's the podcast, ladies and gentlemen.
It's 2 minutes. The first 20 or so seconds is theme song.
I worked on my own theme song for each one. Made really good theme songs. And then I, obviously intro it, plug myself, talk about the podcast. No offense to the panel of podcasters. But
I think we'd all enjoy. We appreciate a good joke, I hope. And but you got the sponsors that you go through. It's a really wonderful thing to check out, and it doesn't take long because they're all 2 minutes.
Just blow through it. The last one is the most important. If you get through all of them, it's a special treat at the end.
That's the key to the whole thing. You also have a number of videos where you're inserting. You have a documentary by Ted Danson.
Yeah, that was the third of a series of films I made.
Of the Danson trilogy.
Yeah.
So the first one is Danson Shoes.
Which
many people have probably seen, but that's...
Come on. Are you one of the 15,000 that Huffington Post got me as viewers on YouTube?
Spoiler alert.
No? God, this audience is dead, Dale.
You watch with sitting there, and then you have Shoes with Ted Danson taped to the shoes.
I Mod Podged pictures of Ted Danson on a pair of sneakers.
Played some music.
And played a song from a Sesame Street video called Dancing Shoes.
Yeah.
That sounds very much like they're saying, put on your dancing shoes. Put on your dancing shoes. I needed a pair of sneakers.
When you explain comedy and really lay it out for people, that's when it starts to get funny, doesn't it? There's nothing left in that joke about talking about it. It really, I think, just enhances it. And then, the next one was walking shoes.
The next one was walk-in shoes.
Less popular.
Much less popular. What happened with that one is a bunch of 8-year-old hooligans in McGorlick Park in Greenpoint Shanghaied is that proper? They took over the filming because they were all riding their Razor scooters around. They saw me. I was doing, the song was I'm putting on my walking shoes. Yeah. And it was a video of me walking, and the kids came up. They bothered me. My manager, God bless him, he asked me to make a sequel to Dancing Shoes.
Yeah.
Because he was like, hey, you're a big hit.
This is huge. This is it.
This is what you are now.
Yeah.
You're the Dancing Shoes guy.
Yeah.
Make a sequel. I tried Walking Shoes. It kind of fell apart. But it's interesting. It's an
Christopher
interesting video.
Walken is on the shoes in that one.
Christopher Walken's on the shoes in that one.
Just again, I think we should have a podcast where we just explain web videos.
Happily.
And that
Very, very happily.
But Jonah, sophomore album is tough.
It's tough.
It's
tough
a hard, it kind of breaks away. I was analyzing my own art within it, but that's...
So then you have Ted Danson's documentary about you, Robert Dean, the comedian.
I realized the shoe part, the cobbling aspect of my career wasn't what's funny. It was my actual love of Ted Danson.
Right.
So I watched clips of Ted Danson, every clip of Ted Danson, talking about characters he's been in, and I made it about myself very easily.
Right, just by inserting your picture into the...
Yes, by just inserting
So
pictures.
it looks convincingly, if you watch this thing, and you should.
Please, everyone.
It's as if Ted Danson is talking about you. And that's been a tactic that you've used in a number of the videos, and even with the podcast. And I love that as kind of an elegant way to make an idea real. It's almost like some of the ideas are so simple that I would never do it or follow through on it.
Yes, I have a lot of free time, Dale.
Oh, that's what you said when I invited you. You said, I'm scared. I don't have anything.
Terrified
tonight."
of free time. Which can I give a quick Danza story?
Yes.
You talked about Tony Danza. I made you reference Tony Danza earlier so I could tell this story. Ladies and gentlemen listening, the universe is amazing, as the panel knows, and Dale, you know.
Yes.
Steve-O knows.
Yeah.
New York City, the greatest thing in the world, the San Gennaro Festival. One of the only carnivals you can randomly stumble into in New York. And I went last week, and cooking sausage and peppers at an Italian food cart was none other than Tony Danza.
Pretty good.
I think I was the only one who noticed it was Tony Danza. So I went up and I ordered a sausage and peps from Mr. Danza. And at that point, people started noticing, and while he was making my sausage and peppers, it was a little weird because people were coming up to him with their camera phones and yelling at him. They're going, hey Tony, look up! He was busy working on my sausage and peppers,
Yeah.
but they're like, look up! Who's the boss, Tony? Who's the boss, Tony? There's a moment when I saw Tony Danza, a single tear fell into my sausage and peppers, and he just went, you all are the boss. Fame is a tough thing, we gotta avoid that at all costs, right?
That had a dark ending to it. Well, now you also, one of the other videos that you do, you shared, and I'm not going to just talk about the videos, ladies and gentlemen, but one of the things, you share a name with a UFO expert, and this is one where you've inserted yourself with that. But are you a UFO fan? You believe in it?
I was, as a kid. X-Files, I remember, was really big, and there was just that was my rebellious youth time. Like there was an Alien Nation skate shirts. I don't know. I was like, that's what I'm going to be rebellious on. I'm going to support aliens. I think I had an encounter, but it might have just been someone taking a picture. But I'm pretty I saw a flash of light, and I'm like, oh, aliens.
Yeah.
Might have just been a picture being taken, but I believe it.
I believe it. I saw some of those things in my time.
You've been encountered?
Well, I haven't been abducted or anything like that, but I have definitely seen something that just zipped across the sky and then disappeared. And you think, oh my God, what was that? It's not a shooting star because of the way that it was flying too low for that kind of thing. Maybe it's experimental aircraft. It's not a weather balloon. But,
you know exactly what a weather balloon looks like.
Absolutely. I study up on them just in case I run across one and I'm mistaken in its identity. So, but what if aliens used weather balloons?
Oh.
Now they've got us. They got us. But as Veronica was talking about, there's so many planets they could all host life. They found a diamond planet, Robert. They found a diamond planet, and somewhere there's an alien lady that's really just coveting that. She's got her eye on it. She's probably from whatever part of space is considered the New Jersey of space. She just got I want that diamond planet. That's what she's saying to whoever her alien intended is, I imagine. Yeah. That's probably what it is. I like to think about outer space a lot, and sometimes I'm just, like you said, free time can be scary, but other times you just fill it with things that, you're sad a lot of the time, but also you can just kind of talk to yourself and get through whatever the difficult moment is, even if it's really painful and maybe you've had too much to drink.
Yeah.
Anyhow, you're the boss. What you have some shows coming up?
Constantly. Yeah, I produce a Tuesday night show at Alligator Lounge in Brooklyn.
Yeah.
God, where am I the rest of the time? It's all over the place. I usually retweet whenever I'm mentioned for a show.
And it's all at Robert Dean. This is what I'm talking about. Meta. See, I think this is meta, but you think it's something else. RobertDean.com.
Well, unlike the rest of this panel who were lucky enough to get their own website, I was not able to get RobertDean.com.
You were late to the game.
I was very late to the game.
Yeah.
There's like a UFOologist. There's a terrible pyramid scheme guy who I made another video about. It's a popular name of people really trying to make something of their own name. So RobertDean.com is unavailable till June. I'm holding out. I got the Twitter handle at RobertDean, which I'm very happy about.
That's good. Congratulations.
Thank you very much. Greatest moment of my life.
Huge. That is huge.
I was www.therobertdean.com for a while, and I hated that very, very much. And I just keep buying. Anyone else just buy domain names? It's important. It's really important to
cash in.
Just
buy as many as you can.
Yeah.
Buy all of them.
And then sell it to some bastard. Yeah,
That's
some
right.
poor bastard who's desperate.
Yeah.
I hold them all as my museum.
Yeah.
They're all going to represent the Robert Dean Museum at some point in my future. I realized recently I'm my biggest fan.
Yeah.
I have the most Robert Dean memorabilia of anyone in the world.
That's probably true, isn't it?
All of the outfits I've ever worn. It's like a ridiculous.
Wow, it's living in a museum.
On display. Yeah, it's crazy. Pictures of myself? Why do I have those? Only you do.
I love it. That's all it's for. It's I'm the boss. So it's great. It's great. Well, we'll check it out and we'll keep an eye.
Yeah, RobertDean.com.
That's what I said. Yep.
First .com is spelled out. Second one is as it was. And at Robert Dean on Twitter, and I also have a Facebook and all that shit.
Okay. All right. That's great.
Thank you.
Robert Dean, everybody. This has been so fun. Well, let's keep it going. Let's keep that applause going for all of the guests here tonight. Dean Rossi, Jonah Bayer, Veronica, and Robert Dean. Did you have something to say, Joe?
No.
Oh, you were just holding the microphone gently. I appreciate that.
You're welcome.
You're a professional. I love it. Well, that's all for our show tonight, ladies and gentlemen. We've got new episodes that are coming up. We'll do every Thursday since you're every Wednesday, right? All right. And Dana, when's your thing? We'll figure it out. The point is, you can get great content all the time, so get out there and do it. I want to thank everybody here at the Pit for being such lovely hosts. Thanks to Steve O'Reilly, Louis Chin. Thanks to AmericanCaesar for the theme song. And till next time, I'll be filling my empty whiskey bottles with homemade pumpkin butter that I'll be selling out of the back of my 1989 Chrysler LeBaron outside of the Whole Foods near Gowanus. Now let's get back to that great music that we all enjoy. Thanks for being here, everybody, and thanks to my guests. Thank you.